Okay, everybody, let's talk about the first part of our lesson for today. We're talking about the germiest tourist attractions in the world. Now, germiest here would be the superlative of germy, which is an adjective, but we don't really use it very often. We're just using this word to describe these places that have lots of germs. And germs are things that can make you sick if they're spread. So, for example, if you cough or sneeze without covering your mouth, achoo! Well, then you might be spreading germs.
Ew.
And the place you're in might become very germy as a result.
Yeah, and germs are just very tiny organisms that can make you sick. Usually germs bring on colds and the flu. You don't want that stuff. Besides, you can spread it to other people, which means you can give it to someone very easily. So be careful. If you're sick, you need to stay away from other people if you're sneezing and coughing especially. Now these days, everyone's talking about the H1N1 virus. Oh, they sure are. This is a pretty serious flu that's been going around. We call it a virus because, again, it comes from a very small organism that can make people sick. Viruses come in different forms. There's the AIDS virus. There is the flu virus, too. So you have to be careful. A lot of people are talking about how to stay away from this particular virus because some people have actually died from it.
This isn't the same virus as the bird virus, is it?
It's the pork, the swine flu.
All right, swine
They gave
flu.
it a real name.
Okay, so it's a different one. My goodness, we've got all these viruses out there.
Yeah.
So you should try to avoid these kinds of things. And that's the best thing to do, or the best way to avoid this virus. And that is to keep clean. So if you want to avoid something, that means you don't come in contact with that thing because you don't like it or because it's dangerous. Maybe there's somebody in your class or somebody at work that you don't like, so you're always trying to avoid them. I don't want to come in contact with that person because I don't like that person. They make me feel uncomfortable.
Sometimes we use avoid plus a verb and then ing. So you might want to avoid getting sick by always washing your hands, right, and getting enough sleep. Like you said, you want to stay away from unpleasant things by avoiding them. A disease, of course, is just an illness that can make a person sick, maybe an animal, or even a plant can get a disease, believe it or not. Some of my plants have gotten diseases and died.
Oh, no.
Now, when we travel, it can be really difficult to keep germs away. You're not home. You're in a different environment, and sometimes you're so busy going around and having a good time, you forget to wash your hands all the time and maybe be more careful about what you eat, especially food on the street.
Right. You know, before SARS came, I never washed my hands.
Oh.
So it's no wonder, or I can't understand why I
Really?
didn't get as sick as I did because I wasn't that sick, but now I wash my hands all the time. So I learned something from SARS there. And again, this is the best way to avoid getting sick, and that's by cleaning up when we travel and keep those germs away. Now, there is a travel website called tripadvisor.com.
This is a great website.
Yes, it is, and it has released a list of the top 5 germiest attractions on Earth. Now, they don't list these things to get people to actually go there and visit them so they get sick. It's just kind of a warning.
Yeah.
In case you're going to these places, you should know that these places have got lots of germs, so you should take precautions. You should be careful.
Yeah, and one of the things that they suggest, of course, is maybe taking some hand sanitizer with you. We used it in our opening skit. It's a liquid soap, and it's got a lot of alcohol in it that cleans off all those germs and dirt. You know, when I go on a plane, I always take hand sanitizer because for some reason I always get a cold when I fly. So I always try to take that with me. You don't always have the chance to go to a bathroom and use real water and soap. But if you keep that hand sanitizer with you, you'll be okay.
Okay, let's talk about one of these germy tourist attractions. This one is in LA, Los Angeles. and it's called Grauman's Chinese Theater. It's in Hollywood, and this theater in Hollywood attracts over 4 million tourists every year. Of course, people who are traveling or who are touring around are called tourists, and lots of people go to this place because it's a popular place for actors there. They got all those handprints in the cement on the sidewalk, so they want to check these things out.
They also have footprints there too, so people just want to go and check out their favorite stars' handprints and footprints. Those are the marks or the outlines of their hands and feet. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. Those are on a sidewalk, a special sidewalk. A sidewalk is just a place that's very hard. It's along the side of a street, and usually pedestrians, people who aren't in cars and on motor scooters and bikes, they're walking along the sidewalk to keep safe. Here it's a special sidewalk because they've just put all these handprints and footprints of famous stars there. A lot of people like to take photos with their hands in those handprints, kind of to compare the size of your hands against your favorite actor's hands. And when you do that, of course, you're touching the place where lots of people have put their hands.
Right, so that's where all the germs come in. So you're touching a place that thousands, if not millions of people have touched before, so you might get sick. It's a great attraction, but it's also a great way to spread those germs. We did mention the word spread before.
Yeah.
That means something moves out from a central place and goes into a larger area. Well, here spread is our power word for today, so let's learn some more about it.
Word Power. Hello and welcome to Word Power. Today's word is spread. In today's article, we learned that germs are spread when lots of people touch the same thing. Spread is a verb and means to move or become larger to affect more people or cover a larger area. So we can say, strong winds helped the fire to grow and spread. Spread can be used in the phrases be spread or spread out to mean to cover or exist across a large area. For example, the virus was spread across Europe. Spread can also be a noun and means the act of spreading. For instance, the government took steps to halt the spread of swine flu. That's all the time we have for Word Power. Thanks for listening.
Now, since germs spread so easily, one of the things you might want to think about is taking along a pair of gloves. Those are things that you can put over your hands to protect them, right? And before you put your hands down onto those handprints, maybe put on a pair of gloves to protect them. If you don't want to do that and you feel silly, I would feel silly, then go ahead and make sure you wash your hands immediately afterwards, especially if you're going to go eat something then.
That's good advice. Okay, everybody, let's hear some more advice from our Chinese teacher, and then we will be right back.